Greetings, Commanders. It's time to welcome some visitors. Some visitors, dyed in red to be exact. This is going to be our next event in Azurlane, North America, and we are going to have limited ships, farming, and a shop. And if you know me, you know how excited I get by farming and clearing shops. And this one is a bit of a doozy. First off, let's talk a little bit about the event. During this event, we are going to have 2 active and available chapters featuring 2 different difficulties. You are going to be getting a standard and a hard mode. You can change your difficulty whenever you want, but what are we farming? Well, we're farming painted horses. There will be a daily bonus where we will be getting a multiplier increasing the drop rate by 3. So that will be nice considering we're going to need quite a bit of these to drop, and we will be going over that here shortly. But first, I bet you're thinking, Shogun, I bet there are some new ships. And you bet your rear guard there are 6 new ships, actually. Shokaku, Zuaikaku, Issei, Hyuga, Akatsuki, and Nowaki. 4 of these will be limited ships picked up through construction, 2 of them will be picked up via drops, and 1 you can actually purchase in the stores. So let's start at the top with Shokaku. Shokaku is an aircraft carrier with a really good amount of air power, coming in a little bit above the Fox sisters at 370. Granted, it's not as good as Big E, but it's not bad at all. Her skills are very interesting. Much like the Fox twin, she has a skill that works with another ship, and this is going to increase her air power by 12 to 30% when paired with Zuaikaku. The downside is that this is going to increase the damage that she takes by 5%. She does have a good chunk of hit points, clocking in at almost 6,000, so this isn't too terrible. Her second skill, Crane's Protection, is pretty sweet. For 12 seconds after an airstrike, all allies' damage dealt is increased by 4 to 10%, and damage taken is decreased by 4 to 10% as well. Now, that's a beefy boost to both damage and resistance for 12 seconds, meaning not only is she going to be laying waste to the screen with that increased 30% air power, but after that, your Vanguard and other allies can wipe up what's left. Now, the other half of this dynamic duo, Zuaikaku, and that art. That alone will have me doing what must be done to get her into my dock. Bringing even more base air power and hit points than her sister, she does fall a bit behind Torp bomber damage efficiency, but makes up for that with a good spread across all 3 types of planes. When it comes to skills, she has a similar skill as her sister, but this time it increases air power by 8 to 20%, so a little bit less. But this one decreases the damage taken by 8 to 20%. Her second skill, Crane's Endeavor, is pretty interesting as well. When providing air support, it increases the next airstrike's damage by 8 to 20%, and this can stack up to 3 times. So does more damage, takes less damage, and has a stacking damage buff. This is going to be a bit of a crazy pair. Issei is going to be the next one on the list, and she's going to be coming in as a battleship with a retrofit turning her into an aviation battleship. Overall, stats are pretty solid and in line with most rare battleships. Her skill is really nice, increasing her own firepower by 10 to 20%. On retrofit, she gains a skill called Aviation Battleship Fleet, and this reduces her airstrike reload time by 5 to 25% and adds an additional bomber to the airstrike. Not too sure how I feel about this, but I will say that her retrofit skin is amazing, and I will likely retrofit her just for that reason alone. Next up is Hyuga, and this is another battleship turned aviation battleship. Same stats as Issei, but when it comes to skills, she gets a skill that increases the whole backline's firepower by 5 to 15%, as well as cover firing, increasing her own firepower by 10 to 20%. Now, her retrofit is interesting, Melee Artillery. This can only activate 10 seconds after the start of the battle. When enemies enter a certain range, she will fire off a special barrage, and this can only activate once every 10 seconds afterwards. Not too sure how this will work out, but it seems more of a PvP move or a way to cut down fireboats in PvE. It will be interesting to play around with this one for sure. Moving on to our destroyers, we have Akatsuki, and this is going to be your drop-only ship. Overall, not really impressed with her stats. She is outclassed by a retrofitted Kagero, and even her torp efficiency is outclassed. She does have the skill Destroyer Division 6 Elite, which when paired with other Division 6 ships, this increases her firepower, torp, and reload by 5 to 15%. This does leave her lagging a little bit in my honest opinion. The next destroyer is Nowaki, and she's a bit better in the way of stats, but this ship's skills are very interesting. Sometimes lucky ship. Every 20 seconds you get a random buff for 5 to 10 seconds. 30% of the time, you get a chance to gain 30% evasion. Another 30% of the time, 20% crit chance and 50% crit damage. The other 40% of the time, you take 20% more damage. Roll the dice, my friend, and see what you get with this one. Now, let's talk about what's in the shop. Zukaku is going to be 8,000 points. That's a lot of points. Your Type 93 torpedo, this one's going to be 6,000 points. The 410mm cannons, this is also pretty interesting. This is going to be 2,500 points. The fighter plane is going to be 2,500 points as well, and this is an S-ranked fighter plane. The mid-autumn furniture, you got 3 of these for 1,200 apiece. And then you got your T4 technology boxes. Now you can get 10 of these. These are 300 points apiece. So definitely want to clear out those. Now that might seem like a lot, and well, it is. Even when farming the hardest normal difficulty map, you are only going to be getting 80 painted horses per turn. So just to get Zukaku, you are looking at 100 runs. Clearing out the shop is going to run you 26,400 painted horses. If you just do B3, which provides you with 80 per run, that is a mere 330 runs, commanders. Child's play. Now you will have 6 maps to farm, and that is going to be A1 through 3 as well as B1 through 3. You will also have hard mode versions of these. Those will often be referenced as C and D 1 through 3. For A1, you are going to be looking at a boss level of 32. This is going to be on par with 3-4. We are already starting off a bit harder than we did with the most recent event. You will get 10 horses per clear on this map. A2 is going to kick this up a notch to a level 36 boss, and this will be on par with 4-1. And I'm pretty sure that you can see how this goes in terms of real world mapping. Every one of these maps is going to kick it up a notch to the next real world map. So this one, you're going to be getting 20 horses for. A3 is going to be sporting a level 40 boss. The nice thing about this map, though, is that this will be the first time that you are able to get Akatsuki as a drop. You can also pick Cleveland up here as well if you don't have her already. You also get 30 horses out of this map. Now, B1 is going to kick this up to a level 42 boss. Now, whereas A1 through A3 increase drops by 10 each map, once you get into the Bs, this is going to increase by 20. Now, we're going to start off with B1 by dropping 40 horses. B2 is going to be a little bit between 4-4 and 5-1 in difficulty and is going to be dropping 60 horses. B3 is going to be where you are going to want to be farming like crazy. Not only do you get 80 horses per run, but you also get a chance for Akatsuki and Zukaku drops here. Not to mention Arc Royale and Vestal. To be honest, B3 will not be that hard. You are looking at, like I said, 5-2 levels of difficulty, so if you have a moderately decent leveled fleet, you should be absolutely fine here. Now, when it comes to the hard modes, well, these are going to be fun. The hard modes for A1 through 3 will be 62 for A1, 66 for A2, and 70 for A3 hard. B2 bosses are going to be 72 for B1, 76 for B2, and 80 for B3. To put that in perspective, the level 80 boss from B3 is similar to running through World 8-1, which hasn't even been released yet. So this is going to be a really good challenge for those of us who want to test out our fleets. So I would absolutely suggest clearing out this shop. There is so many good things here. Like I said, the fighter plane is ranked S on the equipment tier list. You get 10 chances for gold gear out of the equipment boxes. The legendary torpedo is just phenomenal. Some of these ships are pretty okay. Some of them are not the best, but overall, if you are a collector, I definitely would suggest trying to pick up all of these ships that come out of the construction. So I hope that this guide has helped you out and given you a little bit of an insight to our next upcoming event. And I would like to take this time to thank all of the Patreons that help support this channel. You guys are fantastic. If you would like to join them, there is a link down in the description. You can join up for behind the scenes pictures, scripts, polls, Patreon exclusive streams where I work on videos and just chat with you guys. But if you would like to help support the channel, just smash that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, drop me a like and a comment, and I will catch you next time. Take it easy, Commanders. Peace.